Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
Jacob Wile too.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we find ourselves on the cusp of Disney's big venture into the world of streaming, even courting a war in the process, we thought it'd be nice to stay up to date on the ever-growing catalog and rule on what's a must or a bust on Disney Plus. And tonight we're talking Monsters at Work, Episode 3, The Damaged Door. Jacob. Oh, The Damaged Room, my bad. Last episode was The Damaged Door. I was literally about to give you a compliment about, like, the lettering work. Like, I like the I and the T and everything like that. Like, it's really good. It's really good lettering work, Jacob.
Well, thank whoever made the font. I just downloaded it off the internet. I did the white outline, but that's about it.
Okay, so we got Pink Pearl with us in the comments. Happy to have you on board, Pink Pearl. Guys, I have a feeling I'm going to be the most negative of the three, so I'm going to kind of, why don't we do a compliment sandwich thing here? I'll let one of y'all go first, then I'll say my piece on it, and then I'll let another one kind of even out my negativity. I didn't hate this, but I don't know. I have thoughts.
Dragon?
Yeah, I thought this was fine, but it did not wow me like the first two episodes at all. I had issues with this one. It was,
Okay, good. I'm glad we're on the same page.
I mean, look, it's not a bad episode. Make that abundantly clear. It's not bad, but I was really blown away with the first two and just felt like it came short in comparison. So I would hope the next ones are not exactly like this one, but we'll see how it goes.
All right, Jacob, why don't you say your piece really quick?
Yeah, all right. I liked the episode probably more than you guys did, but I mean, I wouldn't say it's as good as the first two episodes. I mean, again, as you guys also said, but I thought it was like that. It's even if it kind of did have like a shortened version of the original movie's plot, it was still cute in its own way and still kind of interesting to see Mike in the caretaking role. So,
all right,
it was at least to me fun.
Okay, let's see. Pink Pearl says, good episode. We get Mike singing. This is honestly something they do. My favorite part is when Tyler remembered. Okay. I'm not stoked on this episode. The most damning criticism I will give this episode, this is kind of like the anti-poster quote, if you will, is that this episode makes me question the longevity of this show, just as a whole. It's like, if we're going to the well of like, okay, there's another kid, and now Mike's the one who's the caretaker, and I have two big problems with this episode, and they're both character related, all right? Number one, Sully is a dick in this episode, and I don't appreciate it. Like, given that this is like literally right after the Boo thing, I would think that Sully would be a lot more sympathetic about the situation and a lot more like I just character like maybe if this was like a few years into the future or something, but it's like Boo should be a fresh wound for Sully at this point. Val, man, like, I appreciate the payoff that we got with her. I'm not going to say I don't. Oh, God, it was exhausting getting to that point, though. It really, I mean, it's like, man, if their intention was to write that character as annoying, they did their job right, dude, because, oh, God, about 5 minutes into the episode, I was like, all right, I get it. Let's see. We have Honeybee in the comments also. Hey there, Honeybee. Let's see. Pink Pearl says, my biggest complaint is that the parents fell for that. Yeah, Pink Pearl, I'm glad you bring up that specific gag, because it kind of highlights one of the other conceptual problems I have with this episode, in that this episode could have been really, really cool in regards to like the world building, but I feel like they kind of wasted a lot of the potential. Like, I feel like they wasted. Like, imagine if we would have got like a Sid Phillips moment with the parents and the monsters, like some sort of like actual interaction. Like, I don't know. I just feel like they play like the idea of humans and monsters interacting is something that's been teased up so much in this universe that the idea that they just play that off for like a gag of like, oh, I'm dad of the year. I agree. That being said, Duncan and Cutter are my favorite characters in this show, especially Cutter. I'm totally team Cutter.
Oh yeah, Cutter is great, but really, Duncan won you over this one?
I like Duncan as well. You know what I like about Duncan? I'll tell you specifically what I like about Duncan. I feel like Duncan represents kind of like the bureaucratic side of the Monsters franchise that has kind of always been there, and that's what I like about him. He's kind of like the skeezy coworker that everyone has that you kind of hate but you have to deal with. So yeah, Elizabeth the honeybee says, I need more monsters in grill building. Let's see, Pink Pearl says it could have been done way better, build it off of university. Like the mom brings one of the girls from camp. Oh yeah, right, exactly. That'd be super interesting. Okay, so guys, where do you want to go from here?
Well, let's start off with some positives with the world building that we do get. That again could have at least it demonstrated potential, but then we went off the rails with it. So, for example, the way we opened the episode, we opened with Flem being the if I recall, I'm pretty sure his name is Flem. Yeah. Mr. Flem. This is the guy from the opening of the Monsters Inc. You know, one who screws up the scare.
Is he the one from the teaser trailer?
Well, I mean, remember, the teaser trailer is Mongolia, technically, Tiki, so it's not really, the teaser trailer per se, but he's from the opening of the movie, though. He's
okay.
So remember, he's yes?
Basically, he was the one that tripped and fell in the jacks in the beginning of the movie,
yeah.
and that became a payoff later at the end of the movie. And
it basically, this is facilitating that idea where, like however months later, I'm blindly assuming 6 months later, but the point being months later, once we've transitioned from scares to laughs, that guy is like on the laugh floor now, and he's like, with pride, I'm going to screw up my scare with pride because it's going to make the kids laugh. So this is him turning that into a strength, where he's now along. I like the idea, the rise of the rise of kind of our screw ups who are now kind of in the all-star status, like Mike Flem and Lanky, like kind of our funny monsters now on the rise, like kind of building a roster, which is nice. And anyway, so Flem, he performs his patented scare, which essentially is he falls on the jacks. Either he trips on the ball, falls on the jacks, or vice versa. The ball gets involved and it goes all around the place. Anyway, so he screws up the scare as per his routine, but he sneezes. He's got a cold. And apparently Flem, living up to his namesake, his phlegm is actually acidic, which is not good. It's going to leave a big stamp of like, okay, something's here, and I don't think the kid did it.
As soon as that happened, I was like, oh, this could be really interesting.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Just the damaged room, that concept, and that familiar monster at the top. That's an excellent sell. Like, okay, I'm in. We got Fritz playing the paper football. That's great. Okay.
I did like the paper football thing.
And how the work order hit is like, you win again, empty chair.
And I also appreciate that Fritz is kind of on the bench this episode because I like Henry Winkler, but I feel like he was a little overbearing the first 2 episodes.
Yeah, but like it gave him a bit. We're just kind of like keeping him waiting for the rise again.
Right. All right, let's see. Honeybee and Pink Pearl are both really on point with the comments here tonight. Honeybee says Duncan is a stupid cartoon villain, and I feel like he's weirdly realistic. And that's exactly what I like about Duncan.
I'm hoping Duncan
kind of toes the line between like just being like I don't know. I feel like he's just different enough from Randall to work. Anyway, go ahead, Dragon. I'm sorry.
I hope Duncan has a bit of an arc or a bit of a payoff there. Like, for example, I hope he's getting to the point. I mean, I'm sure, I have a feeling they're going to do this, but just, to show like a little bit of growth, like by the end of things, perhaps he's going to be less. I don't want Fritz to be killed to get his job, like something along those lines. I'm just going to take pride in the work.
All right, and also Pink Pearl says an adult discovering and visiting Monstropolis would be interesting in something other than the babysitting trope.
Okay,
I totally agree. Maybe not in this episode, but that's absolutely something I'd like to see. Like, I like an adult interacting with the monsters just in general is something I feel like we've been teased with this franchise, but we've never actually seen.
Yeah, let's just a bridge off of that. Of course, the thing this episode kind of skirts around, as it's been kind of thrown out earlier with the whole camp thing, is that, yeah, Monsters University, say whatever you will about that movie. I like it. And of course, I love the scandal of it all.
I need to rewatch Monsters University because I definitely remember the ending easily being the best part of it, like, no doubt.
Yeah.
I'm just not a fan of I don't know. I just feel like Monsters University was just kind of like 90% of that movie's runtime was just lazy college tropes, and then suddenly it kind of turned into a brilliant Monsters Inc. short film at the end.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That third act, though, is amazing, and what we're throwing out there. And okay, we're trapped in the human world, and actually, there's a police presence. Oh my God, some human interaction, and again, we have to scare adults. Just the epic scope within the third act there, which we kind of we kind of hint at, and then unfortunately we really tear down with the parents in this episode. So the parents, I feel, was a bridge too far.
Go ahead, Greg. Go ahead.
So the new age parents, it was a bridge too far. Seeing, just that. Again, we're seeing that much of the adults in the episode, which, again, we teased up in University so effectively, and here it's like we're playing for laughs. And I'm not saying you can't play it for laughs, because I want to say we had, like, the Party Central show, which I think had, like, a glimpse at, like, adult human characters, and that was hilarious. That's the line. There's the perfect amount of that line. They're seeing, like, a demonic thing on the other side of, like, the giant party animal scene, which is hilarious. And here, it's we're basically, I kind of noticed something with the short they did, Lamp Life, with about Bo Peep kind of thing, fill in the blanks of Toy Story 4. I love that Pixar has like a stance on the whole self-soothe parenting style. They like making fun of it. So I'll give them points there. They're making fun of it. I just think we double down on the stupidity a little too much. Like these guys, the fact that they're as Jake, I believe you spoke to it earlier. The fact that their child or sorry, it might have been the chat. Just the whole, their child spoke in a very male voice, so it's a little 1-year-old girl who hasn't spoken up to that point, and speaking there should be like an Omen-like response of like.
Honestly, I feel like the gag would work better in a DreamWorks movie or something.
Yeah,
like
it would. It's not
the
here.
Tone. It's because inherently it's a funny gag.
Yeah, but not here. It's out of the realm of it compromise the realism with something too cartoon. Again, with cartoonishly inept parents, like they're borderline Turners or something. Man, it's not good.
Okay, a couple. The people in the comments are kind of enthusiastic about the idea of a gamer discovering the monster world, which I think is a really good idea.
Yeah, I remember there was actually something really hilarious once. They had this, I don't know if I told you this, in the Monsters Inc. comic, it was like a short run. It wasn't like a huge sweeping thing. The Monsters Inc. comic, I told you like the water noose of it all. We had like kind of Sully dealing with water noose amidst the changeover. Now, the other thing you have is like a short, like a little backup thing, a little one-issue thing where there was a kid who basically used the door system to steal children's toys. Ooh. And here you're gonna love this, okay? It was it tied into Jesse at the end of Monsters Inc. The Jesse Easter egg that's in Boo's room. So she had a Jesse doll, and basically the idea is like this kid who was stealing the toys, he heard stories about Sid Phillips, and that's why he was doing it.
Oh wow! Oh, that's great. That's great.
It's awesome. So again, I'm not saying they necessarily go that route, but it's really, I'm saying there's a whole lot of potential you could go with like kind of stuff like that, like gamers and like what kind of kids are you scaring and things like that. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So guys, on the character side of things, I really want to know what y'all think about Sully, because to me that was like the big, like, I cannot just.
I'll tell you what's wrong with Sully.
It was bad. Go ahead.
Okay, here's the problem with Sully. It's not so much the fact that he's rebounding from Boo. And originally, the way I thought they were going to go with it, and they didn't go this way, which is why it's additionally kind of a problem. So I'm not opposed to what you're saying, Tiki. It's that the problem is, okay, so Sully wants to watch the kid, obviously, because he's he's missing Boo. I think that's the line they should have gone with, but they didn't.
No, instead, I feel like he's just being a dick.
Well, it's some. Here's where I think we went wrong. Yeah, go on.
And I don't think he was being a dick. I mean, he's just like teasing Mike like he did in the beginning of the first movie, of the original movie. He's just teasing his best friend like he always does.
So let me put it to you this way. I'm not sure what Sully's game is, because the impression I have is that, because think about it, he goes into the scene, the base of the big kind of our visual of the episode, if you will. We're going to a baseball game. Now, so Sully wanted to watch the kid initially, right?
Yeah.
Right. Then Mike's doing it because he's flaunting, like, I don't get emotionally involved with the kids like you did with Boo. Now, my assumption is that, he's tantalizing Mike with the tickets just to prove the point of, like, oh, you actually do care about the kid. That's why you're not going to this baseball game. Now, the problem is that even if that is what he's doing, which again still is like, okay, that's just Sully trying to prove a point there. He thinks, no, there's no way in heck Mike is going to ditch the kid or take the kid along on the game because he's gonna because he cares about the kids, want to leave alone. Or something. That's all he wanted to prove with this little ticket thing. Because clearly Sully's up to something, and I don't know what it is based on what happens. Because it just seems like Sully's completely forgot about here. Let's do the responsible thing, which usually Sully's all about.
Yeah,
like, no, let's go to the baseball game.
I don't know.
You see what I'm saying, though? It's like I don't get what his
thought
thought
totally
process.
Get what you're saying. Yeah.
So I think it's less him being unlikable, Tiki. I think it's just more of like we completely. I think we just kind of threw out like the emotional through line and just like we want to go to a baseball game, and just we can. Sully later is saying immediately when they reach the game, I don't think it was a good idea to bring the baby here. Why did you suggest it?
Okay, I will give the caveat that I do like the setting of the baseball.
Yeah, no compunction with that, but getting there is the bumpy part.
I think it's funny that they have like the catcher is literally just like this giant monster where it's impossible to get balls past him.
I love
that was a solid gag. That was a solid Pixar gag.
And it's based on something in the real world too.
Yeah.
I love
the green monster.
Yeah,
and they have Bob Yucker.
I love the 3-pronged bat, which we set up at the pinata at the end of the first episode. Yeah, I just love it. Because you have these tentacled pitchers that are throwing multiple balls, and you're hitting it with like a bat with like 3 heads on it. It's awesome. Of course, we have now. Here's the lovely thing about the baseball game is that Billy Crystal's a lifelong Yankees fan, so I love the idea. Oh man, they worked in baseball because Billy Crystal's such a baseball fan. That's cute. And I will say that Billy Crystal continues to just be like the highlight of the whole show. I love everything he's doing with Mike in the show. Let's see, we have like
he has called Mike his favorite character ever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And of course, you got the Monstropolis Creepers and the Red Shocks. They have the giant loud Red Sox fan behind him, like doing that half and half paint job, and just. Okay, here's my second big problem of the episode. Okay, so one, I don't understand Sully's line of thinking, which again I think kind of complicates that. That doesn't reflect well on Sully if you really think about it. Outside, like, well, we just want to take Sully and Mike to a baseball game, but we also want to have a kid there, so we have to contrive something. Now, here's the problem. This episode broaches the one gag in Monsters, Inc. I don't care for. Okay, the smell gag.
Oh yeah. Whole, oh god. Yeah. Now, was that necessary? It went on way too long. It's like it just feels like it's beneath Pixar, quite frankly.
Now, to be fair, I like that we didn't do like a whole thing like we went to the changing room with Mike or anything.
Agreed.
We didn't do any of those.
Agreed.
So to be fair, they handled it. My problem is that we always talk about the world building of Monsters Inc. and the Monsters universe, which is great, and we've been exploring really well so far. And it was like the one chink in the armor for me in the Monsters universe has always been that one gag. I know it's more reflection on me, I guess. It's just the whole when he the whole like hey I got any wet dog, and he's like tossing like the stinky scents. And it's like when you think about it, it's like, yeah, why isn't Boo just utterly repulsed by the smell or anything? It's like I don't like the idea of our monsters having the smell awful, and then we get to an episode like this where it throws us in our face of like, so when the kid does something stinky, it smells like roses apparently, and that's just really weird to me. And like I don't get that logic. It just doesn't. I don't know why we're doing this.
Jacob, thoughts?
I mean, I don't really know what to say beyond that. I mean,
it's okay. I don't mean.
I was the one on not liking the smell gag in this universe, aren't I?
It's just like basically, I guess it kind of work like opposites. I mean, obviously, it's like day there when it's night, so it's clearly some kind of opposite world logic. I mean, that's how I always saw it.
Yeah. regardless, I think the rot dog wasn't a good call. It's just like, yeah, we're gonna feed this kid something that says rot, which implies to me that's gonna be really harmful to a child. We're gonna let the kid eat a rot dog.
No, Pink Pearl. Honestly, I'm loving this this whole idea of the video games and technology with Monsters Inc. It's a really cool concept. You guys are building up in the chat. It's kind of taking on a life of its own in the chat. So keep with it. It's all good. It's all good.
No, well, I'm not crazy about the rot dog shenanigans. I do like the whole the whole domesticated Mike and Sully kind of banter about like them. Just I thought that was really great.
It's like, oh, I know what this is. Like, you would come to the game and you would stick me with the baby.
Yep.
I'm always a fan of that kind of gag.
And of course, like Mike defending the baby's honor, defending a baby snore's honor, and just knocking out. And basically, the giant lout just kind of get knocked out by the baseballs and gets to catch one and goes home. I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think my.
I did love Billy Crystal. Like you guys spoke of Billy Crystal's baseball fandom, and that moment where he catches the ball, you could kind of tell that was kind of like him channeling his real life fandom right there.
Yeah. He was like made an honorary Yankee and everything too. He loves that team. So,
I mean, combining his favorite character and his favorite baseball team.
Yeah, my favorite. Okay, so two of my favorite
Monsters at bat.
Nice. Oh, the company softball team.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
That should absolutely be an episode.
Either that as an episode or a short or something. Let's do that.
Right.
So, I think my two favorite gags in the whole episode that really made me laugh out loud. So again, to the episode's credit, again, we're kind of putting it down a little bit, but there are some good elements. So I think here's a great callback. So I think this episode, like the episode on the whole, for example, it bridges on we're doing some rehashes and maybe a bridge too far. Now, one gag that was not a bridge too far was a wonderful reference was the autograph picture where Mike yet again is covered up by a logo. I laughed so hard. That's one of the great gags from Monsters Inc.
There were actually a couple of really good callbacks this episode. Let's see. What was another callback? I remember there being a couple of them. Help me out here.
Okay, well, I didn't care for the company play callback.
Oh, the company, yeah, that was it. I liked it. I didn't mind it.
I mean, look, I love the company play as an idea. I just feel like there was something off with it here. Where the fact that it was unsuccessful bothered
me. Was it a little bit of a member berries type thing? It's like, I remember the company.
No, I would. What I'm saying is, if he had sold it, had the guy bought it, then I would have been like, yes. But no, it's like that gambit's so perfect. The fact that it actually works, like I don't like that not working for him. It's got to work.
It's an interesting subversion because it did work the first time.
I know, that's what I'm saying. It's just, I think
it just kind of makes it kind of funny that it didn't work this time.
I mean, maybe, I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, would you be complaining because, like, oh, it worked again?
No, it wouldn't be. It's like, yeah, it worked again. It's like, it never fails.
I mean, to be fair, some people probably would, though.
I mean, sure, you're right. No, you can't please everybody. It's fair.
I mean, I'm just saying, I didn't have a problem with it either way.
All right. Okay, also the...
Val, ...
All right, so Tyler and Val. So, now, to be fair, we did set this up. Yeah, it didn't come out of nowhere. It was set up in episode 1, but yes, a little repetitive.
Honestly, the fact that it was set up in episode 1 made me even more annoyed because I was like, all right, I get it. I fucking get it. This was already set up, and now you're just beating it into the ground.
Well, no, there was a payoff to it here is the point, Tiki, but you're right in terms of the
payoff, and we'll talk about the payoff. I like the payoff, but I don't know. It's like with an annoying character, it's just like the characters don't get I can totally relate to Val. I was Val in college. I absolutely was, no doubt about it. But that being said, an annoying character is an annoying character, and the damage is kind of done.
I think I'll tell you what I think went wrong with Val in the episode, along with just basically with the repetitious nature of just like her constantly beating him over the head with, like, hey, do you remember this? You remember this? Was that Mindy Kaling is an acquired taste, and I feel usually the thing is it kind of takes time to warm up to her, and I'm thinking that's translating the animation, which, given that we're on episode 3 after a really good stride with the first two, we used her sparingly, may not bode well. It's right now she's the weak link in the myth team.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Like I said, now that we've got this revelation, of like, like she had the one positive, like I've been on both sides of the situation, right? With Tyler, and I've been the person that's like kind of latched on way too much to the one positive interaction. I've also been the person that didn't take the positive interaction seriously enough, and then feel bad where it's like, hey man, like like why didn't you ever call me or anything? Like I've been there. I've been on both sides of it. So I did really genuinely think that the payoff was very good. And I'm willing to give her a chance moving forward. I just think that, man, this episode was just, they just kept hammering home like, hey, you get it? She has all these positive memories and he doesn't remember it. It's like, all right, it's the one gag and you're just repeating it.
But with a sweet payoff.
It is, yeah, sure.
It just took a long time getting there. All right, let's see. I do like. I gotta tell you, in structuring the story, again, had she not been so kind of like irritating up to that point, I mean, I love the idea of, okay, we're gonna have these characters almost in a bottle episode situation, but Duncan's there too, which kind of compromises that. But let's just say, for argument's sake, you have a bottle episode thing where, okay, so Power is the soccer ball's been kicked and they're stuck in the room. They can't leave until they hash things out. Essentially, that's a good idea, but. Again, one, an extra character in there, and two, was just the build-up did not necessitate it, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's just with the kid too. I want to mention with baby snore. I do love the idea that to help with the energy crisis, babies would be perfect laughers. It's a great idea. The number one, that's a good idea. Like, yeah, you would go to babies if you were. It's again the world building again up front, very solid.
Agree.
Was my favorite. I think my favorite gag in the whole thing, too, beyond the autograph picture callback, is the whole like, wait, you named it? Didn't you say not to name it? Like with Booze? No, this is different. I can't call it. It's a thing. I can't call it a thing because what if someone comes in here and asks to borrow that thing? How am I going to know what thing it is?
That feels like it was Billy Crystal improv.
It was great. I loved it.
Yeah.
So speaking of Billy Crystal improvising, he's kind of doing wondrous things. He sings.
Yeah. I saw this as a standalone clip up on Disney Plus before. I didn't watch the clip, but I saw it as a clip before I got around to watching the episode. I was like, ooh, so there's a musical number.
They actually put up a deleted scene recently. So from the first episode, it was really interesting. It had John Ratzenberger in it.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah,
he voices Tyler's father.
Yeah, he plays.
Really?
Wow. Here's what they did. Okay, so what they did, very simple, is that instead of the way we have in the pilot now is that, okay, so Tyler gets the letter and then he heads off to Monsters University. The idea is he would have gotten the letter and then there would have been a graduation ceremony, and that's basically what this was. With his parents there and everyone would give. He's like the valedictorian. He gives a speech, which essentially, again, they made the right call. And pairing it, the letter was a really sweet moment. So. But I hear we're going to get Ratzenberg again, so I think it's going to sort itself out. But it's
weird that Ratzenberg has just kind of like slowly eroded himself from Pixar.
Yeah, he wasn't in Luca, which is shocking to me.
Yeah.
And he was only like a visual cameo in Soul. It's crazy.
I know. That's so weird. Anyway,
I know. It's the end times.
But Bill Hader's not in Pixar movies anymore.
Well, to be fair, I think we all read into a whole like Bill Hader was taking over Ratzenberg's position.
Well, they did a whole D23 panel about it.
Really? Did they? It was the whole panel about it.
Well, no, but it was like it was easily one of the most memorable parts.
Was it one joke or was it one joke or was it running gag?
It was a running gag, at least.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay.
Ratzenberg had the whole Disneyland band, man.
All right.
Anyways, all right.
Anyway, yeah, so Honeybee says, I do not like Val.
Yeah.
Well, again, Val definitely has the most to catch up on here. Duncan just need to pay off an arc with that guy, but Val, we need to step it up.
And Cutter can just remain exactly the same.
Yeah, Cutter's perfect. Cutter's fine. We have all we need with Cutter. Cutter's references this great running gag of all the poor mifters that have come before.
All of them have died.
Yep. Oh, there earlier it was referenced. Tiki, did you mention the beefcake thing?
No. Pink Pearl has been mentioning it in the comments.
Yeah, Pink Pearl said, that she was really laughing at the whole beefsteak line. That that was not. I'm not talking about food.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So yeah, but the singing though, I love that. We have kind of like kind of a sweet. It's so loving despite just him nothing but baby put downs. It's really funny. Okay, and
of course Mike's comedy class at the end again.
Yeah. Okay, that was genius. What we did there with the whoopee cushions. Reading the I don't know what I just directs the microphone at it. I don't know what's not working. And of course, I love that we don't have them all break out in laughter, make it even funnier. So the whole
You killed it!
You killed it!
That was definitely a good gag.
Oh, it's great. Oh, I love this comedy classic stinger thing. I hope part of me wants to do it every episode. We'll see if that happens, but it's great.
I mean, like the first one we had a Randy Rogill song, and now we have a version of whoopee cushions.
Yeah.
Where will we go next?
The Rogel's still getting work. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, he's done quite a bit recently, I believe.
Yeah, with Animaniacs and everything, yeah.
Yep, so.
Pink Pearl says, I miss Banana Bread. We all do, Pink Pearl. We all do.
Oh, God.
He's moved on to the joke floor.
Yep.
I wonder if we'll see him anymore.
With a little hope, Jacob. With a little hope.
Good old Winchester.
I hope there's a gag where it's like eventually Banana Bread just becomes like the president of Monstropolis or something like that.
Banana Bread, the
like,
lost
he
hope.
just like dramatically moves up in the world every time we see him.
Banana Bread, the lost Winchester brother from Supernatural.
Oh, God.
Sam, Dean, and Banana Bread.
Sam, where's my banana bread?
Oh, God.
All right. Anyway, okay. I think we've covered everything, guys. So
yeah, and I just want to again. I think the comments this episode were really on point with Pink Pearl and Honeybee, and I really love all your guys' ideas for the gamer in Monsters Inc. I just want to just shout out. I love that kind of stuff in the comments because I think it's super creative, and I love when you guys just kind of like build on stuff like that. So really cool work there.
It's interesting. A lot of people have been trying to modernize, like kind of the Monsters Inc. 2 kind of territory, basically where we would go beyond Monsters at Work, possibly, or something along that line. So I mean, I'm not saying that's exactly what they're doing here, but it's kind of interesting. That's kind of where everyone's mind's been at lately with Monsters Inc.
Yeah. All right, folks. So I guess that'll do it for us this week as we holster our remotes till the next installment calls for the draw. Mano y mano, just Plus and Us.
Hey, where's that thing?
You killed it!